Tigers went to Delaware. Got a pretty cool souvenir while they were there. We'll talk about how they got it today on the Tiger Basketball Report presented by the Green Turtle. Hello again, fans, and welcome back to the Champions edition of the Tiger Basketball Report. I'm your host, Ben Rosenbaum, joined by head coach of the Tigers, Diane Richardson. Coach, first of all, congratulations. First ever CAA title in Tiger basketball history.
Yeah, thank you. It feels really good.
So first, let's look at the games as a whole, all three games. Credit Miles Jackson. You held all three opponents under 50 points. They say it, offense wins games, but defense wins championships.
Yeah, that's true. Defense, and our defense was really pretty tight this weekend. So, we turned our defense into our offense.
And let's start with the Delaware game. Kiana Jeter, unbelievable in game one, 30 points for her. She was dialed in, and you and I had talked. We were a little worried shooting woes kind of coming into the tournament maybe, and she showed that you guys left those here in the regular season.
Yeah, I think they were all focused on these games and didn't let, distractions or a lack of confidence get to them. And so they were dialed in, and that's what we saw this weekend.
Did you see a shift as practice went on from the end of the regular season to the start of the tournament, that the team was maybe carrying themselves a little differently, that this wasn't the same last three-game team of the regular season anymore?
Yeah, absolutely. Ending the season with 3 losses kind of was a bad taste in their mouth, and I think, they kind of took it on like, when the championships come, it's 0-0. Right. So we've got to, make amends and turn this thing around. And they were really focused.
So you defeat Delaware. You're on to Hofstra, which was a surprise around the league, knocking off number 1 James Madison. Boogie Brzezowski was fresh off, or 2 games removed from that 42-point game, and JMU did a good job to stop her. What were you guys looking at with Boogie? Because she can score it as good as anyone we've seen, and you had to make sure she didn't have another 42-point night.
Right. We didn't want her to get hot, and we've seen her get hot and just knock down shots. And so we put Kiana Jeter on it. So it was kind of 2 scorers on each other, and they kind of neutralized each other.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you're looking at that 42-point game. They're looking at her, Kiana, just scoring 30 against Delaware, and they're saying, no. And I joked on air that the 2 of them probably became best friends after that because they were just staring at each other the whole game. But then meanwhile, Mello only goes for, I think she had 9 at the end of that game. But Nakaya Mayo, I think, went on a 15-0 run by herself. She had 3 straight three-pointers, and she was feeling it too.
Yeah, that's for sure. And it all led up to them knowing that everybody had to step up for the tournament. And when Kiana was down a little bit and defending Boogie, Kaya stepped up, Danny Durjan stepped up, Q Murray stepped up. So it was a nice win for us.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that. You got production elsewhere with Mello not getting the points. Q in double digits. Danny hit a lot of timely 3-pointers. I think she had a 4-point. Was it Hofstra? Danny's in the room. Was it a 4-point play against Hofstra? Yes. 4-point play, that was big. You guys were blowing them out of the water. Talk about that 22-0 run you went on in the second quarter. You can't plan for something like that to go your way.
No, again, they were dialed in. And I tell you, the defense was up a couple notches. And it just flowed right into steals and rebounds and getting out and run. And we've been talking about our up-tempo style all year, and we saw it on display then.
So then you're in the finals. How do you mentally prepare them? Okay, you just had a huge win over Hofstra, where you pretty much did whatever you wanted. And then now you have to take on a Drexel team that really just took it to you guys on senior day. Right. So what was the mental reset like for you guys? Well,
we knew, again, they wanted that championship bad, and it really didn't matter who we played because, again, they were, it was more heart and more determination than it even was for the scout. We prepared a great scout, but I tell you, the heart in them just stepped up and they took the championship.
Listening to Denise Dillon coming off of the overtime win over Northeastern to get them into the finals, she was saying in her press conference she really liked the matchups that she had against you guys with Bailey on defense and just kind of throughout the lineup. Right. But it seemed like the way you guys attacked it, you were pretty confident in your matchups too. And offensively, Nakaya Mayo was really able to take it to Bailey Greenberg. Q Murray, another great night. Danny Durjan, another great night. Nakaya Mayo, Kiana Jeter, another good night.
Right. And we knew the matchups. And, Drex was a system team offensively, but they have to defend us as athletic as we are, defensively. We knew we had an advantage in quickness and tempo, and so we used that in our scout, and we used that in the game to win the game.
That last minute 40 was one of the most impressive closing acts I've seen from a basketball team in any situation. It was started by your floor general, Q Murray, with a huge steal.
Yeah.
Goes the other way for a lay-in, and that kind of kicked off that run. Micaiah Mayo gives you the lead off a jumper, and then Kiana Jeter, with a hand in her face from a much bigger Abby Metzel, drains it and kind of puts it away for you. And then Mayo hits huge foul shots down the stretch as well. I mean, that run started by Q was unbelievable.
Yeah, and, she has that ability. I saw her setting it up. I could see her with her, little moves defensively, and she kind of baited them to thinking that she was open and just stepped in there and stole the ball and just went to the rim and scored. And then it was a snowball effect. The girls got excited and knew, hey, we're going to be poised, and we talked about being poised throughout the game. We're going to be poised, and we're taking this championship.
At what point could you sense maybe that Drexel was down for the count, that they weren't able? I mean, they had that weird play, they inbound off the rim, and they get a three-pointer quick, which was a little like, uh-oh. They're going to get some lucky bounces now. But when did you kind of feel that maybe you had it locked up?
Well, I thought earlier on in the fourth quarter that they were getting tired, like Drexel was getting tired, and I knew that we still had it in us, and we were going to keep running. I could see that they were tired. I could see that they were starting to talk to each other. So we just turned it up a notch, and just sped up the game a little bit, sped them up, and then turned them over defensively.
And before we go, one last thing, probably one of the more special things about this weekend, this whole and the championship run was you shared it. A lot of coaches might keep it within the team and those who are very close, but the amount of administrators and supporters and just staff members and even an intern who you let get a piece and cut the net. I mean, that was very special. Towson's waited for a basketball championship, and you shared it with the family. Well,
because we all are a family. We couldn't have won that championship without all of you all, and it takes a family to do that. I wanted everybody else to know and recognize you guys, because sometimes you're behind the scenes, but you're just as much as part of this team as we are.
All right, that'll do it for us today on the Tiger Basketball Report. Stay tuned to TowsonTigers.com to learn more about the CAA champion Towson Women's Basketball Tigers and their journey through the NCAA tournament. For head coach Diane Richardson, I'm Ben Rosenbaum. Thanks for joining us, and as always, go Tigers.